Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. This is Christian
This is Tito G.
and we are sorry, ito na naman mali na naman ako. This is not
Not
financial
financial
advice.
advice.
Okay, guys. At dito sa ating weekly episode, today we are at an all-time high for Bitcoin at
Ye
$122,000 per Bitcoin. Ano, Tito G?
yes. Parang first time natin 'to na
Ano ha?
nag-all-time high na magkasama tayo.
Yes.
Remember majority of the time either it's going down or it's just consolidating. So, historical moment ito dahil all-time high
As
and
we're recording.
ayan, as we are recording, and ang nakakatuwa dito, tama ka last week.
Yeah. Lagot ka, may mga magagalit sa'yo niyan kasi sobra kang bearish, eh. Sobra
Hindi
mo daw
naman bearish.
hawkish.
Sana sabi ko consolidating market will consolidate, but you're saying last week 'di ba sabi mo, July babasag before July 20,
Yes.
natatandaan ko 'yon,
Yeah.
grabe talagang, etong master.
Uy, pero ano, nung tinignan ko yung charts, again, yung power ano yun, power curve ba yun or power law? Nakalimutan ko kanina nakita kong chart, eh. Parang magkakaroon 'to ng correction, mini correction bago siya talagang babanat for the last quarter. Meron siyang isang dip, 'pag yun ang sinasabi kong I look at it as around August. Magdi-dip 'yan, 'pag dip niya August, probably September, and then September mag-uumpisa na 'yan. Dahan-dahan biglang October, 'yan na yung kagaya nangyari 'to, yung massive rip.
October,
O October niya,
October.
malakas 'tong October, October to November up to December tingin ko.
So, ibig mo palang sabihin may chance pa akong makasakay?
Yeah. Uy, lahat tayo, pati ako sasakay ako dito. Aantayin ko 'to, tingin ko right now, nagulat kasi ako na nasa 122 na siya, past 122 at it broke through 120,000 and it's at 122,500 and mukhang matatamaan niya 125. Honestly, wow, I wouldn't be surprised kung tumama nga 'to ng 130, 135 at the way it's going, eh. So
Sa sobrang sobrang bilis niya 'no?
at saka hindi lang yun, by the way, nung this whole week past until we're shooting today, ang daming news about Bitcoin. Mga nagdagdag na naman ng Meta Planet,
Yes.
nagdagdag ang ano pa bang countries, El Salvador, yung mga iba't ibang countries may mga nag-a-add at sa iba-ibang mga companies nag-a-add. So nakikita ko all this news is coming out now and remember, it doesn't mean na pumasok yung news today, yung price magre-react today, hindi gano'n, eh. Pero that shows you there's a very big bullish momentum towards the upside talaga.
Si Michael Saylor nga nagpapahiwatig na naman, eh, mukhang gusto na naman bumili.
I wouldn't be surprised. Pero
Yeah.
si Michael Saylor always buys never on the upswing, eh, on the downswing siya, eh. So
Mm.
kung mag-correct 'to, Michael Saylor is your parang siya yung ano, eh, yung tagasalo
Taga
ng ano,
Salos
eh,
Oo, parang
siya yung
siya yung
support.
support.
Oo.
Siya yung support, yes.
Kaya never ako nag-aalala 'pag bumaba ng sobrang baba. Like for example, right now we're at 122. Let's say it corrects in, end of the month to start of, August mag-correct siya to 100s again, the 100 to 110. Bibili si Michael Saylor sigurado. I'll be buying. As soon as mag-correct 'to below 110, I'm buying. I'm already in.
I think yung correction na yun ano, our last, all-time high prior to this nasa 110, 112, eh.
Yes.
And it will be a healthy correction kasi it is a retest 'no. Tawag namin dun sa technicals, it is a breakout retest. So majority of the players the breakout players, yun yung inaantay nila. Kung hindi sila nakasakay dun sa breakout, usually they wait for the retest of the previous, resistance
Right.
bago sila papasok. Kasi yun yung healthy, eh, na pull tawag dun healthy pullback 'no. So, siguro ipakita ko yung chart. Ito yung sinusundan kong
Yon.
parallel channel na binasag, eh. Kaya ito,
Exciting. Alam mo natutuwa ako 'pag
yan.
nagpapakita 'to ng chart, eh. Sige, go tito.
Eto, yan yung chart natin. Eto this one I showed this, the other time 'no, dito rin sa channel. So, ito yung parallel channel natin if you're going to notice. This is the weekly chart kasi. Teka, i-zoom out ko muna. This is the weekly chart. So ngayon, nandun
Yun.
siya sa tuktok and, kasalukuyang binabasag niya. Actually, on a weekly basis, if you're going to notice, nag-close tayo above the channel, for the first time, no, for the first time. So yung weekly close natin nandiyan and, right now kasi simula pa lang 'tong candle na 'to, we are trading above it already. So what we want to see is a sustained breakout. So kung sakali nga is magre-retest siya ng 100, 112 pero aakyat ulit dapat. So,
Right.
dapat mag-close ulit tayo on a weekly doon sa taas ng channel.
Okay.
Yes.
'Pag mag-close tayo do'n, then that secures the ano yun, the price at
The breakout most
oo,
likely
na
that
tama yung oo.
yes. Remember last time naman, yung downward sloping parallel channel natin na binasag niya, sabi ko binasag pero hindi pa nagko-confirm
Yes.
kasi maliit
Yep.
yung candle pero hindi na siya bumalik kasi dun sa channel, eh. So, eto na yung kasunod na breakout ngayon.
Right, right, oo.
Yes, oo.
Honestly nga nung tumama na siya ng 116, akala ko, "Uy, 116." Oh, ta's nag-118 sabi ko, Hanggang 118 na lang ba 'to?" Pero alam ko tatama ng 120. I'm surprised at 122. Are you surprised?
Na-surprise ako sa bilis.
Sa
Okay,
bilis.
sa bilis, sa bilis.
Right.
Yung 120, 121, that's one of the measured move ng Fibonacci extension na sinukat ko, I think last week. So sabi ko
Okay.
mga 120, 121. So ang nagulat lang ako is yung sobrang bilis niya na-reach yun.
So lumampas na siya dun sa ano mo, sa Fibonacci chart mo yung ano niya, level niya.
Yes, oo,
Nasa kabilang ano na siya.
yun yung una, eh, yun yung extension ng 0.618 na extension and then may next pa dun yung 1 naman na extension.
Yes.
So, I forgot the exact number para mga 138, 140. So, ibig sabihin 'pag na-secure natin yung level na yon, we protected that level. So, yun ang next target. Based on the Fibonacci extension.
Nice, okey.
And
So ngayon, moving forward ano, mukhang malakas ang support for Bitcoin. Ano sa tingin mo yung mga factors that led to this? Ano yung mga balita natin this week or the past week with regards to Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency industry?
well, this week ang ine-expect yung, tawag nga nila ngayon Crypto Week, itong week na 'to, July 14 kasi maraming mga bills na related sa crypto ang pag-uusapan at puwedeng
Wow,
ma-approve dito sa US, Senate 'no. So isa na nga diyan yung One Big Beautiful Bill,
one big
'di
beautiful.
ba? So eto magkakaroon na ng debate. Dito kasi base dito sa bill na 'to, in-expand ulit nila, eh, yung debt ceiling, eh, 'no. So,
Yup.
to $5 trillion.
Grabe ang taas na talaga ng debt nila at alam mo ano sa'kin dito 'no, sorry to interrupt pero naintriga ako dito because Trump at the start of his term sabi niya, bababa niya yung national debt ng US. Yun ang sinabi
Yes,
niya
oo,
with,
oo.
that's why ginawa nila yung Doge and sabi pa ni Elon, "We're gonna drop it by 1 trillion." Yun ata yung tinarget nila, 1 or 2 trillion. Tapos wala, not even 100 billion ata yung natanggal nila, eh, hindi ko maalala.
Oh,
It's a
ngayon
very
tinaasan pa.
tapos yun na nga, ngayon nag-reverse si Trump. Now he's okay with, increasing the national debt to another 5 trillion. Anong take mo dito at bakit sa tingin mo, ano ba effect nito sa markets?
So usually kasi pagka ganito, siyempre yung utang, there will be a lot of uncertainty, money printing na naman, 'no? So nagkakaroon na ngayon yung effect ni Bitcoin as a hedge, 'no? So nangyayari ulit siya. Yung Bitcoin and gold, 'no, as your hedge against uncertainty and as your asset, parang secured asset. So kaya napupunta na naman yung sentiment sa Bitcoin and gold.
For me naman kasi nakikita ko talaga dito ano, with regards to the national debt of the US. And remember, the global debt is growing fast, very fast. Kasi hindi lang ang US ang gumagawa nitong palaging pagtaas ng utang. All countries have this habit na palaging pataas ang utang. Sa Pilipinas, pataas ang utang natin. This is what devalues all currency. All fiat currency goes down in value. Kaya nagiging mas mahal ang lahat ng bagay. So ito masasabi ko sa lahat ng nanonood, 'pag lahat ng bagay ay nagmamahal ngayon in terms of fiat currency o yung pera ng inyong bansa, may isang currency na bumababa ang presyo ng lahat ng bagay, Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin lang. Sa Bitcoin kaya nga honestly, there's a part of me na wala akong pake kung ganyan ang ating mga gobyerno kasi hindi naman natin I mean, I can care pero hindi natin matigil ang gusto gawin ng gobyerno. They're gonna do what they're going to do. You need a hedge against the idiocy na nangyayari sa ating government. Itong pagtaas ng utang. And so sa mga nagtataka, how does increasing the debt increase the price of Bitcoin? Kasi 'pag tumaas ang debt, you're flooding the system with money.
Money, yes.
Oh, When there is more money, scarce assets go up in value. Bitcoin is so scarce na pag dinagdagan mo ng pera, tumataas ang presyo, and now naghahanap ang tao ng malalagyan ng pera nila na hindi nawawalan ng halaga at tumataas sa halaga. Bitcoin lang 'yon. Gold, I mean gold property meron pa rin naman yung ngayon, but not as well as
Yes,
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yun eh. So, etong ginagawa ni Trump for me is very intentional for one reason. Gusto niyang tumaas ang stock market. Dahil tataas ang stock market because the stock market is also a hedge against inflation in a way, 'di ba? Kaya ginagawa niya 'to dahil gusto niya makilala na, "Hey, look at me, I'm Trump and I'm making everyone rich. Look at all the money you're going to have in your investments." So, yun yung aking tingin dito. I mean, in other words, he's pumping the market. He's priming it, he's pumping it, and I think also because I mean, we know that he has crypto, he has Bitcoin, and he's trying to pump everything. Is he manipulating it? Masama ba ginagawa niya? Anong take mo?
No, ako I think he is just fulfilling his promise, his campaign promise, 'di ba? Sinabi naman
Ah,
niya 'yun eh nung during the campaign period, 'di ba? Sinabi niya na he is pro crypto, he is pro Bitcoin, he wants the innovation to be in America. So ngayon nakikita natin yung fulfillment, no, unti-unti nitong promise na 'to. Imagine mo January pa lang siya, no. So 6 months, pero ang dami ng nagawa sa crypto. Okay?
right,
Ang dami ng
okay.
mga nangyari sa crypto. Ito lang, itong, Genius Act, 'di ba, itong stablecoin bill na 'to.
Yep,
Ngayon pag-uusapan ulit 'yan, i-a-approve nila or pagdedebatihan 'yan sa US, Senate and Congress. So, ito, last administration, wala. Hindi pinag-uusapan 'yan. So, in 6 months nakagawa na sila, 'di ba?
yep.
Imaginin mo, so meron pang ilang years, 3.5 years si Donald Trump. I think yung laying down the foundation, yung nitong first, year niya, maganda yung ginagawa niya sa crypto.
Ako naman ano, I like what he's doing in crypto, pero sa akin kasi yung problema ko 'no, is really have a big problem with any government na nagtataas ng national debt. Malaking issue ko dun sa it's irresponsible. It's very irresponsible na all governments spend more than they make. I understand why they're doing it kasi nga pina-prime nila yung economy para may mga proyekto, may mga negosyo, para tumakbo umiikot ang pera, pero the way they're doing it, I really find it wrong. And I think kaya naghahabol ng pera yung tao ngayon kasi nga nawawala ng halaga yung pera nila. So what if even if you're making more money, are you making more than the inflation? Malaking posibilidad hindi eh. Kaya but again, if you're out of the system, like we are, I'm out of the system because I'm in Bitcoin. This benefits me
Yes.
because I have nothing to lose here and everything to gain by governments throwing money and printing more money. Tumataas yung M2 money supply natin at this rate.
Yun ang ano, eh, yun ang, primary isang reason 'no, kung bakit na-create si Bitcoin, eh, 'di ba? Kasi nga ballooning yung debt,
Yep.
tapos massive money printing and governments are really addicted to money printing. Kasi imagine this, ako iniisip, kino-contemplate ko, kailan matitigil 'to? Kailan kasi ever since I studied the market sa PSE days pa lang 'no, yung US debt na 'yan, pinag-uusapan na 'yan na sobrang ballooning yung debt. So that was like 15 years ago, ballooning na yung debt. Ngayon nandun pa rin, eh, ang laki na ng balloon na yun.
Oh yeah.
So, meaning hindi mo na parang no chance for me, no chance for me to slowly deflate it. Most likely it will be a bubble. And parang kung iisipin mo, sino ang nation na mauuna na sasabihin niya, "Oh sige, I will stop money printing." Parang isipin mo wala, eh, kasi it will be disadvantageous to your country if you don't 'di ba?
So where do we go from here, Tito? From how you sound, sabi mo most likely you're saying it will burst. Most likely this balloon will burst. What does that mean when this balloon bursts? Kung lahat naman ng mga country ay umuutang, anong nakikita mong posibilidad, global economies, what will happen?
Baka ito na yung ang next dito is yung, New World Order na tinatawag ni Ray Dalio, if
The
you haven't
global
watched,
reset.
yeah, the Global Reset, New World Order. So kung titingnan mo 'no, yung evolution nung currency, 'di ba? nagkaroon tayo ng from barter
Yep,
system and then naging, gold and
yep.
silver. So from gold and silver naging fiat system na tayo. Every time na nagpapalit tayo ng monetary system, nagkakaroon ng reset. Nagkakaroon siya ng reset. So I don't know when it will happen,
Wow.
but mukhang itong mga circumstances na nangyayari, not just now 'no, even before, sabi ko nga even 15 years ago, is telling us that we are headed to that reset, eh.
And alam mo, that's gonna be chaos,
Yes,
Magkakaroon ng
yes,
chaos 'yan.
yes.
But eto na, again, I'm gonna say it again, and I sound like a broken record, we sound like broken records, but it's true. Pero 'pag may Bitcoin ka, you secured yourself against the global reset. You've actually hedged against it. Nakaabang ka na, nakahanda ka na. And most companies and countries na nakakuha na 'pag nag-reset, ready na sila. The ones with the most will end up becoming the new superpowers.
Agree, agree, agree. So yun yung 'di ba last time naman nung nag-reset tayo, nung ni-reset, after World War II 'di ba? So ang naging dominant superpower
Was the
US,
US.
was the US.
Yes, oo,
Yes.
and they became the global that's when they became the global reserve currency.
Yes.
Kasi for most people na nanonood siguro nito, all your life ang alam mo is US is the global reserve currency. Yun na yun, eh. So you haven't seen anything yet. And even for us, ako
Yes,
din, eh.
oo.
Buong
Mm,
buhay
mm,
natin ang alam lang
mm.
natin US. I remember growing up nagtataka ako, bakit US ang ginagamit for trade?
Oo.
Sino nagsabi sila pwede? And then doon ko na-realize yung Bretton Woods Agreement and all of that. I learned all of that. And then na-realize ko, tama yung sinabi nga ni Ray Dalio, there will be a new global reserve currency because people are losing faith in the US dollar because of their debt.
Yes.
Yan ang isa. And naghahanap na sila, and I know na now not they're only not looking, they know it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be the global reserve currency. I think every episode sinasabi ko na nga yun, eh. Ang kulit na natin ano. Pero more than ever kasi nga ngayon, nung narinig ko nga yung balita with that that big beautiful bill with 5 trillion more in debt. I'm like, wow, alam niya that it's not good, and yet he's doing it for the reasons that he's doing it.
Yeah, but ano, eh, yun nga, sabi nga natin, hindi natin parang walang gustong tumigil na
Wala,
'di
eh,
ba?
or hindi nila alam papaano.
Oo, yun nga, eh.
Yun lang, hindi lang
Na
nila
ano
alam
yata,
papaano.
nasira yata yung off button ng printer.
Yes.
Hindi na hindi na ma-turn off.
Yeah, wala na silang off-ramp dito, eh.
Wala na.
Hindi na nila alam, how do we get off this? We're on this super
Oo, wala
highway
na.
of debt, and it's accelerating. The momentum is getting faster and faster. How do I where's my off-ramp? How do I exit? Hindi na nila alam. Bitcoin is that exit. And it will be a chaotic exit, unfortunately. The ones with Bitcoin are the ones that are gonna be okay. The ones without, and I feel bad for the citizens of the world na walang Bitcoin, because pag pumutok na 'to lahat, this whole the world economies, wala kang Bitcoin, good luck talaga with you.
Kasama yata din sa i-di-discuss this week or this month yung, strategic reserve ng US ng Bitcoin. So, 'pag inisip mo 'di ba, 'pag tinahi-tahi mo, sige, you want more budget, you want more debt, but at the same time, they are already planning to transition,
Ay,
'di ba?
ay, oo. They're already preparing the bunker for the coming
Yes,
apocalypse. It's the
yes,
Bitcoin bunker. Oo nga 'no, tama ka
mm,
dun, Alam na nila where this is going, eh.
yes.
And hindi nila alam ang off-ramp. Alam nilang off-ramp din nila ng US is Bitcoin ang ating magiging off-ramp. Alam nila yun, eh.
Mm.
That's why they're preparing. That's interesting, add ko din dito ano na yun na nga that Jerome Powell was recently, I think he was in Congress ba ata, tapos, nabanggit na nga niya that, he is willing to resign. And 'pag nag-resign nga si Jerome Powell, ang sinasabi din ni Trump ngayon is gusto niyang ibaba ang interest rate. Although in reality or technically, walang power dapat ang US president to dictate the interest rate.
Oh, pero may power kasi siya to fire Jerome Powell.
He he can't, 'di ba? He can't kasi
On some grounds,
right,
yes,
he can ginagawa niya,
kailangan
pine-pressure niya.
isa yon yung pressure, but there are also, there can also be legal grounds, eh, na to fire,
Right.
a Federal Reserve chairman. So I don't know if they're studying it already. I read some articles na medyo sinisilip sila about, some grounds kung paano siya, aalisin or yun nga ipe-pressure niya,
Yeah.
to resign.
And I have a feeling it's possible that Jerome Powell can resign. If he does, then stocks go boom, Bitcoin goes to the moon. Yan na yun eh, 'pag mangyari yun eh. Because when the interest rate goes down, risk on assets go up.
Yes. Primary isa sa mga reasons bakit si Trump gusto niyang pababain yung interest rate, not just because he wants Bitcoin to go up. It is because, the US will refinance its debt this year.
Ah,
So, kailangan 'pag
right.
nag-refinance sila, mas mababa na yung interest rate. Otherwise, they will be paying more
Yes, tapos
again,
sa
'di
after
ba?
nun biglang bababa.
Oo.
'Di pa bababa pa yung presyo ng
So,
bonds nila.
ibig sabihin, when you decrease the interest rate, the government will not be paying more to
Right.
service their debt, and in return, yung excess fund na yon can be used to stimulate the economy. Or probably buy
Right,
more
right.
Bitcoin.
Pero ang rason na ginamit kasi ni Jerome Powell, sabi niya, "The only reason I'm raising, the interest or at least it's not going down, kasalanan ni Trump. Kasi dahil sa tariff niyang 'yan, kaya hindi ko mababa yung interest." Sabi niya, siya na nagsabi, "I want to lower it. I can't because Trump with his, yung bipolar tariff trade war niyang 'yan is causing the prices to ano, to on on its pathways. Na ang hirap ibaba yung interest rate na 'yan."
Hindi, I think with the results of the recent, data 'no, yung CPI data, controlled siya, eh, 'no? Even if kailan yung April, that was April 'di ba, yung
Yeah.
tariff. And then ngayon medyo ilan na yung na-negotiate nila, 'di
Ah,
ba? Hindi masyado nag-spike yung CPI, eh. Actually, I think yung last 2 results ng CPI was lower, eh.
alam
So
mo,
kaya nga, yung sinasabi ni Powell na hindi niya magalaw because of the tariff, eh, kailan yun nga, sabi ni Trump, "Kailan mo pa kailan mo pa gagalawin? Eto na nga yung data." Oo.
Interesting. Pero alam mo, may naririnig ako kasi na even though Trump, bluster niya about raising tariffs and everything, meron daw ano yan eh, loophole. The internal na hindi nila pinag-uusapan. Maraming mga exemptions yan. Na 'pag ito ginawa mo ganyan, may exemption ka, may exemption that in reality, walang effect yung tariff.
Hmm.
So, sa ano, PR nila, tumaas na yung tariff. Tignan mo, look at the tariff go up. Eh, hindi naman nag-cause ng inflation. Pero 'pag tinignan mo daw yung mga fine print ng mga tariff na 'to, maraming
Maraming exception.
exemptions that na kaya hindi na i-implement yung tariff in reality because 90% or almost 100% of all the imports coming in are not tariffed anymore because of all the exemptions. And they're doing it because natatakot sila 'pag hindi nila ginawa 'tong exemption na talagang babanat yung presyo pataas.
It's used kasi to negotiate, eh, 'no, to
Hmm.
leverage, eh. Kaya niya ginagawa. Not necessarily because gusto kong kumita ng mas malaki kasi tariff is a tax, but that's not the primary reason kung bakit siya nagta-tariff. Kaya siya nagta-tariff kasi gusto niyang gamitin yung leverage na yon para yung kabilang party, 'di ba, ma-squeeze niya, eh.
Pambully.
Oo, yes.
Well, I understand and, yes, there is a certain aspect na parang, oo, it works to a certain extent. Tapos sa Pilipinas, we just got sent a letter for
20%.
20% pa, yeah,
Yes,
20% to the Philippines. Pero 'pag tinignan mo naman parang, dude, ang liit-liit
maliit lang
ng
ang export
oo,
natin.
ang liit natin compared to
Oo.
parang, come on, really? Tatamaan pa kami ng 20% tariff but again, maraming exemptions 'yan na hindi natin nakikita or hindi na nababasa. So that's why ako, it's all political, he's playing the game and, so be it.
Yeah,
Oo, ako
oo.
basta Bitcoin goes up, okay, sige,
Okey.
walang problema dun. Okay, so on other news, kumusta naman yung mga altcoins natin dito?
Yung recently ang tinitignan ko is the Bitcoin dominance chart.
Okay.
Yung yung Bitcoin dominance chart, while the price of Bitcoin is going up, the Bitcoin dominance chart is going down. So it suggests that there are alts that are pumping. Kasi kahit umaakit yung price ng Bitcoin, bumababa yung kanyang dominance, ibig sabihin, yung market cap nung altcoins, mas mabilis yung akyat, mas malaki yung inaakyat. Kaya bumababa yung
Wow! And Ethereum at $3,000.
yes,
My
oo,
God,
oo. Maganda
finally!
'tong rally na 'to kasi nakita natin na sumabay yung mga alts, eh,
Yes,
parang
unlike the other
like the other
rallies,
rallies.
hindi sumabay yung alt,
Mm,
now sumasabay na,
mm,
'no?
mm.
So, tapos, kuwento ko lang yung na napag-usapan namin ni Coach Miranda na yung Pump.Fun.
Oh, yung
Oo,
yung ICO,
nag-launch,
oo.
oo. Nung habang nag-uusap kami, it was going to launch 1 hour from that. Of course, we were telling everyone, please lang, ingatan niyo 'tong mga 'to. If you really want to play this game, ingat lang, wag yung don't go crazy on it. Ako mismo, I don't wanna play the meme coin market kasi okay naman ako with my ano, with my Bitcoin bag and my, my main bag. I don't need to play that market. Did you play that market or would you say that's something that why would people get into it or should they get into that?
Attractive kasi yung mga meme coins, especially sa mga bago. Kasi
Ah,
bakit? Kasi nakikita nila dun nandun yung 10x, 50x,
100x.
100x, 200x. Maraming maraming nagpapakita ng kanilang gains in terms of percentage,
Yeah,
'di ba? And, yung mga bago siyempre na-attract sila. Ini-imagine na nila, "Uy, 'pag nag-like pala ako ng 100,000 dito, pagka na 10x yun, I'll have 1,000,000, 'di ba? But what they don't understand is yung mga naglalaro nitong mga 'to, ang nilalagay nilang capital diyan most of the time is just a portion of their
yes.
overall portfolio. So maliit na maliit siya na amount na even if they lost in one or two or even 10 meme coins, mababawi nung portfolio nila na nasa mga big cap na alts or nasa
Right.
Bitcoin. So dito papasok yung part ng education, eh. Dito importante yung part ng education kasi pagka ang Bitcoin nag-o all-time high, just like this morning, ang daming nanonood sa channel ko. Ang daming
Napansin
bago.
mo yun 'pag nag-o-all-time high o 'pag pataas ang Bitcoin mas marami nanonood?
Yes. So, alam mo na madami
Oh,
na namang interesado, alam mo na naman na maraming bago kanila na kasi nasa mainstream na naman ang Bitcoin. All-time high,
oo.
lahat ng headline mo sa social media, mainstream media, nandiyan. So, kaya I think napaka-importante ngayon nung education part, kasi if not, itong mga bago na 'to madadala, eh. Na pagka pasok na naman sila kanina pinipigilan ko, "Wag kayong mag-leverage, wag kayong mag-leverage." Kung bago kayo, mag-aral muna, spot muna o kaya mag-demo kayo, yung mga gano'n. Kasi majority of them maa-attract, will use leverage without really understanding,
Right.
'di ba, na sobrang risky niyan at puwedeng mawala yung pera mo.
Yeah,
So
that's true. And with Bitcoin naman kasi or with crypto, most of the time you don't need to leverage. Dahil sa sobrang volatile niya, you can make a lot of money, just trading spot, 'di ba?
oo, oo. Sa
Oo.
galaw naman kasi ngayon ng Bitcoin, sa spot pa lang okey ka na, eh. But again, we cannot blame those traders na who are playing leverage, especially yung mga nagsisimula. Kasi nga, ang akala nila gano'n kabilis lang. Kasi nga what they see is, wow, 200% gain,
Right.
300% gain in 1 day, 'di ba, in 2 days, 400% gain. So yung mga nakikita nila na yon, akala nila gano'n kabilis i-duplicate, but they don't know na yung mga traders na gumagawa nun are experienced traders, matatagal na sa market, marami na rin pinasunog, malaki na rin yung tuition fee na
Yep.
binayaran sa market, bago nila na-attain yung gano'ng status. Bago nila na-survive yung, um risk and chaos nung leverage trading. So, kaya ako ingat na ingat dun sa mga bagong papasok ngayon because gusto natin na tumagal sila dito sa market,
Mm.
'di ba?
Yep.
Especially siyempre mga kababayan natin ano, gusto natin maintindihan nila 'tong Bitcoin, 'di ba? Kasi nakita na natin ito even last cycle kung paano mag-perform ang Bitcoin against all of these other assets.
Yes.
Ngayon, kung papasok sila and nauna sila dun sa leverage, nasunugan ng 100K, 200K, 500K, wala na, madadala na, hindi na
Yep.
papasok, 'di ba? So, ibig sabihin, they might miss the chance nitong game na 'to, nitong greatest wealth transfer in our lifetime because mali yung entry.
Yun. And ano din, mali din ako lang sa akin lang din ano, important ano, for majority of people, it's the best strategy is to hold. Just buy and hold.
Yes.
Yeah, kasi honestly, I'll admit meron akong hold bag ko, hodl bag ko, meron akong trading bag ko. Mas malaki kumita yung hodl bag ko as this one actually natalo yung trading bag ko in terms of gains. 'pag sabi ko 'pag iniwan ko na lang pala mas malaki pa kinita ko kasi I didn't expect it to go all the way up to 122 na had I just held, I would have made a lot more. Dahil nag-buy and sell ako, kumita naman pero I'm like, ano, pagod pa ako dito dapat pala hindi ko na lang ginalaw kung ngayon ko lang binenta, 'di ang laki mas malaki pa kinita ko. Kaya yun yung ano, yun yung importance nung ano, eh, nung, just being able to hold the asset more than anything, eh. So for the altcoins you're saying nga na mataas ang bumaba ang Bitcoin dominance ano, what are the altcoins o kaya, industries or, type of altcoins that you see moving in this cycle? May mga napansin ka ba?
Ang napansin ko over the weekend, yung mga ISO 200022, ay
Ah,
tama yung number ko na yon
yeah,
na mga
oo. Pero anong
altcoins.
ibig sabihin nun para sa mga viewers?
Those are yung mga may X na altcoin. Hindi, ito yung ano, eh, yung, gi sinasabi nila na posibleng gamitin na new payment railway, itong mga 'to like your XRP,
Yep.
I think XDC, HBAR I think is part of it. So, eto yung based dun sa narrative na nababasa ko, possible na itong railway na 'to yung gagamitin ng BRICS, 'no. So, yun yung nakita ko na na lumipad na mga narrative lately.
Sorry, which one is BRICS planning to use?
These ISO compliant
Pero may
coins.
specific one? Wala? Wala
Wala,
silang
wala, wala,
binanggit?
wala sila.
Ah,
Pero parang yung buong halos majority of the coins on that particular category
yeah.
is going up, eh.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to ano, to Jen of Coins, the other day. That's coming out tonight. Um, Nabanggit nga niya yung ano, eh, yung narrative ngayon on what narrative is working or what narrative are people looking at papaano magkakaroon na 'tong mass adoption. It's through, stablecoins and cryptocurrencies that can bridge the gap between legacy finance and this new financial world. Kasi karamihan ng mga tao nga hindi pa rin nila maintindihan ng crypto. So karamihan ng mga tokens na lumalabas at mga ecosystems at blockchains, ang gulo-gulo nun, fragmented sobra. Pero the ones that are going to succeed now are yung pwede maging gateway to be able to transact globally, money globally. Kaya XRP, ang ganda nung narrative nila ngayon kasi nga palagi lang sinasabi, we're gonna replace Swift. At sila lang yung sila lang yung nasa space na yun, eh, in that sense, eh,
Mm.
na we want to be the preferred, railway pagdating sa mga institutional trading, pagdating sa institutional remittances na para ma-eliminate ng SWIFT, they want to do that. And I think that narrative is now starting to take hold and that's why XRP is almost at $3. Ewan ko
Yeah.
lang kung nasa 3 na ba ngayon, eh, pero
Parang parang kanina nung tinignan ko almost $3 na, eh. I think
oo.
kanina nung sinisilip ko sa chart, if it breaks $3 madali na ulit ng all-time new high 'to, eh. So,
Ah,
I was surprised
wow!
by the move of XRP. Kasi, well, even in the move of Bitcoin, kasi titignan ko yung chart sabi ko parang mahina na, eh, pero grabe yung pump niya 'no, nung
Oo.
nag-break yung Bitcoin. I remember din last time nung nag-all-time high din si Bitcoin, ito din yung mga tokens na 'to yung lumipad, eh.
Right, oo nga, eh. Ta's Ethereum naiwan ano?
Oo,
Oo, ngayon
Ethereum.
naman okey naman pero medyo hindi pa rin gano'n
Ethereum
ka
is still down by I think 20%, year to date.
yes, year to date
Year to date,
20%.
yeah.
Okay, I can't wait for Ethereum to go up. And you know what I noticed pala Tito ano, is, ito din ano, na yung buong market nga sumama sa pag-angat ng Bitcoin kasi kahit yung NFT ko, yung aking Bored Ape,
Oh,
tumaas din yung price. Yung floor
magkano
price
na?
nung nag-usap tayo nung first time ko pinakita itong aking ano, Bored Ape, yung floor price niya was at about 10
Okay, okay.
Ethereum, okay, 10 Ether. Today, ang floor price is at 11.3, baka 11.5 na nga by now, eh. So, tumaas by 1.5 Ether yung ano, floor price niya.
Saktong-sakto pala yung pasok mo dun. Kasi parang double gain ka tignan mo, sa ganitong perspective. Kasi tumaas yung presyo ng NFT and at the same time, tumaas din yung presyo ng Ethereum.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
So, pero I'm not telling anyone to buy any NFTs, ha. Again, ako, Tito, since 2021, I actually would tell everyone, don't buy NFTs. Sa tingin ko talaga NFTs kasi are a big massive bubble na talagang which happened naman, bumagsak talaga lahat and halos all NFTs are worthless. Again, the only reason I bought the Bored Ape is because I did see na malakas yung community nila at nakita ko nga nasa floor na and for me kasi I can afford.
At saka ang primary reason mo naman kaya ka bumili is not because of the price appreciation. It's
Yes,
really, because of the art
there you
appreciation, eh.
go.
Yun, eh, 'di
Yeah,
ba?
kaya that's why I bought and
Mm.
exactly, eh. It wasn't because it was an NFT that I bought it and I wasn't thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna double or triple my money." If that happens, great. Will I even sell? I don't know, eh.
Mm.
Maybe baka 'pag mag-triple siguro or quadruple, maybe I
Baka
will.
actually, most of
Depende.
the collectors that I know, not just in ano, not just in the digital space 'no, even, si Kuyang 'no, who is into art, may mga clients na kahit na ang laki na ng in-appreciate nung art piece na hawak nila, they are not willing to let it go. Why? Because primarily they don't need the money.
Yeah, and you're not doing it naman talaga you don't buy I mean, seriously, you're not buying art to invest. You don't. People that buy art don't buy it because they're investing. They're buying it because they want to hold it. And kung tumaas ang presyo, great. Maybe one day I'll sell it. Kaya hindi sila nagmamadaling ibenta 'tong mga 'to, eh. So for me, hindi ako nagmamadali. I really said I'm planning to hold it for a long term. I I actually might even buy another one. Yun yung irony na 'to. I might buy may nakita ko na parang, "Uy, parang okey yan, ah."
Bored ape pa rin 'yan.
Bored Ape
Bored
pa
ape pa
rin,
rin
eh.
'yan,
I actually like the concept of the Bored Apes. Eh, may nagtanong sa'kin the other day nga na, "Eh, Chris, hindi niya naintindihan ng crypto." Sabi niya, "Eh, bakit ka bumili ng Bored Ape kung puwede ka namang gumawa ng JPEG ng isang ape?"
Mhm.
Sabi ko, "Yeah, gumawa ka ng ape na JPEG tapos titignan ng tao sabihin na, ba't may ape ka na JPEG sa kwarto mo? Anong kuwento mo?" "Wala lang, gusto ko lang gumawa ng JPEG ng isang ape." Parang ang weird nun, 'di ba?
Oo, yes,
Parang
yes,
sinabi mo ng, "I just wanna paint a photo," hindi man lang paint, eh, "I just wanna put a photo of a random lady in my room." Bakit? Anong kuwento mo? Pero if you have a Mona Lisa, pero kung hindi yun ang tunay na Mona Lisa na nilagay mo sa kwarto mo, people are gonna say, "Bakit may fake ka na Mona Lisa sa kwarto mo?" Parang ang weird mo naman, 'di ba? Or gumaya ka kay Van Gogh, pero hindi Van Gogh yan, pero parang Van Gogh yung painting, oo nga, eh, pero hindi siya Van Gogh, hindi. Nakita ko lang na parang Van Gogh kaya ko binili. Ha?
oo.
Parang it doesn't make sense, eh, yun
Doesn't
lang,
make sense,
yun
yeah.
ang sa akin. So, you want the Bored Ape because it's a Bored Ape, yun
Yes.
yun. So, but anyway, I'm just happy with it and maganda lang
Yeah,
na, "Uy,
galing, galing, galing.
tumataas yung price, ah." I was like, "Wow, okey yan, ah." Now, tanong ko sa'yo, Tito, ano pa yung mga balita natin when it comes to crypto naman and have you heard any news naman in the Philippines o wala masyado sa Pilipinas?
Sa Philippines wala masyado, eh, wala tayong masyadong balita rin, about crypto except sa I think sa PSE naman balikan natin ng konti yung PSE,
Ooh,
binawasan daw nila yung, I think transaction tax if I'm or sales tax, every time you buy and sell
they
stock.
did,
Yes, they
okey.
did.
I'm assuming they did that to hopefully induce more people to trade in the PSE or to increase trading?
Most likely yun ang intention, but ang revolution tama ba revolution or evolution na nangyayari ngayon, there are other countries or other nag-aano na sila, papunta na sila dun sa tokenization of
Yes.
'di ba?
BlackRock says it openly. All stocks will be tokenized. It will. I believe that 100%. It's not a matter of if, matter of when yan. Kasi nga, when you tokenize it, yung share mo, alam mong isa yan, alam mong 1 out of 10,000 and yun na yun. Hindi kagaya ngayon, especially in the Philippines, di mo naman talaga alam, sino ba may-ari niyan, sino may-ari niyan, saan nanggaling yan, magkano binenta. I'm learning that right now with the NFT. Pag tinignan mo yung NFT ko, makikita mo doon lahat ng mga dinaanan niyang
Dinaanan,
mga kamay. Lahat ng activity nakalista yan. How much it was sold and bought. And mine, before I bought it, the last price was at 40 ETH.
Tsaka maganda kapagka tokenized kasi, yung puwede siyang i-trade globally, eh, 'di
Yes.
ba? And it can be traded 24/7.
Yes.
So, ang imagine that liquidity na puwedeng i-provide nitong pagka tinokenize mo siya, 'di ba? Kasi ngayon sa PSE natin I think hanggang 3 PM lang,
Yes,
'di
and
ba?
may lunch break.
Oh, may
O
lunch.
wala na bang lunch? At
Meron
meron pa
I
ba?
don't know, meron pa yata, meron pa rin yata 'no?
Natatawa ako dun sa lunch break yung nagte-trade ako biglang, "Shit, 'di na gumagalaw yung ba't 'di na gumagalaw yung stock? Ay, lunch break na pala." Tinamaan ako ng
Oo.
lunch break, so pause talaga. I'm like, "Wow!" Nakakatawa yun ano?
Oo, so maganda rin siguro 'yun na siguro in our country pag-isipan din ng mga leaders natin 'di ba na, kasi you will make you will really make history if you will be one of the first na mag-adapt nung tokenized na stocks, eh, 'di
Alam
ba?
mo naisip ko ngayon ano, baka invite ko nga dito kaya yung PSC na ano, president.
Puwede,
Oo,
oo.
pag-usapan lang PSC, hindi ko ani siya sa crypto. Although nabanggit ko na 'yan, eh, sa kanya, eh,
Oo.
about crypto, eh, naintriga naman sila. Pero naisip ko lang baka invite ko lang, let's talk about trading lang. And then sabi ko, "Well, have you ever thought about ano, tokenizing the stock?" Sino ba may karapatan dun? SEC, PSE? Probably SEC, PSE, and BSP
Oo,
ano?
yes,
Lahat na
yes,
yun
yes,
ano,
oo.
interagency yan dapat ano?
Yes.
Baka kailangan ng so kailangan ng Senate talaga pumasok dito or Congress?
Kailangan talaga na
Oo, it has to
tingin
be a
ko,
bill that
oo,
ano,
yes,
para comprehensive at saka may mga regulating rules and ano yan, guidelines.
mm.
Okay. Pero sa mga may mga nakikita nga akong mga comments sa ating, podcast na nagsabi nga they used to trade daw the PSE pero wala na nga daw sila sa PSE ngayon.
Marami na ako katulad ko, 'di ba, ang tagal ko rin sa PSE pero nung nakita ko na mas liquid yung crypto, lumipat ako sa crypto. Kasi nga 24/7 yung trading tapos, even if you buy worth of millions in value, madali ka makaka-exit, eh.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that ano, nung tinignan ko kasi yung, trading volume ng PSE at yung market cap, tapos tinignan ko yung trading volume at market cap ng crypto. PSE is just like a one crypto that's not even on the top 20. Parang gano'n.
Yes, yes,
Wala pa
oo.
siya sa top 20 in terms of trading volume,
Volume, mm.
ang baba para siyang isang maliit na crypto project. Tapos hati-hati pa. Within that crypto project may mga projects ka inside. Kumbaga para ka na sa isang blockchain that's not on the top 20. Tapos yung sa blockchain na yan, ang tine-trade mo yung mga dApps o mga decentralized apps sa loob nung blockchain na yon na mas maliit pa yung liquidity nila. Gano'n ang PSE, gano'n kaliit. Kaya, that's why for me, I love trading Bitcoin dahil ang laki ng liquidity at
Oo.
anytime I can trade, big amounts if I wanted to. Not that I have big amounts, pero if I wanted to trade big amounts, I can trade it. If let's say Tito trades, $100,000 in Bitcoin,
Ikaw yun,
kayang-kaya,
eh.
isang pitik yan, 'di ba? Ako yung mga,
Oo.
few $100 trades ko, yun
Na
mabibilis
makikita
mabenta.
mo naman kasi 'di ba sa mga, exchanges na nakikita mo yung kapal ng order book,
Yes.
eh, kita mo yon. Kaya hindi siya like for example tayo, ang tawag sa'tin mga tama ba shrimps ang tawag sa'tin, yung mga
Shrimps, ang
maliliit
liliit
lang yung
natin,
hawak
oo.
mo 'di ba? Hindi mo mapapagalaw talaga, eh, 'di
Yes.
ba?
Totoo 'yun and ano, that's why liquidity is so important for any market ano. Do you see ba ano that the liquidity right now in terms of the crypto industry, anong nakikita mong projection mo dito na how big it's going to be? Kasi right now the whole market cap is at about ano na tayo ngayon, nasa, lampas 2 trillion na tayo, nasa
Yes,
3 kasi Bitcoin pa lang nasa 2+ trillion na tayo, eh. So, ano na tayo ngayon, 3 to 4 trillion na tayo total, mga gano'n na tayo? Ano ba
mga
yung
mga nasa gano'n na yata yung market cap natin ngayon. Actually hindi ko masyadong binabantayan yung ano, eh,
yung
yung
industry
the
ano,
market cap, itself. I'm more focused on the price action.
okey.
So yun yung
Bakit ano, but kasi ano, eh, trading volume affects price action. Market cap is well, I was talking to Tito about it kanina kaya nabanggit ko sa'yo, eh. Market cap, for those that don't know, is correlated to the price, not causational to the price. So, hindi siya yung nagko-cause ng pricing, siya ay correlated to the price. Ang nagko-cause ng price increase is the inflow and outflow of money into that asset. So, and BlackRock, tumaas yung kanilang inflow into Bitcoin. Pataas ng pataas ha. So, nag-average sila about 300 million. I think it's gone up na because their last purchase parang recently, they did about 600-700 million. And before they were doing a 1 billion, ang taas na ng holdings ng BlackRock ngayon eh. They also inputted a lot, they're putting more money, may inflow ngayon ng Ethereum.
Oh, yun pa yung isa 'no, yung recent I think last week yun, may mga news ako na nabasa na may mga companies na nagbobodega ng Ethereum. Parang nilalagay na nila sa parang yung ginawa ni Sailor 'no, na strategy, as their reserve. May mga companies na gumagawa na pero Ethereum ginagamit nila.
Okay. And
Oo.
ngayon ano, alam ko kasi maraming mga people that like me na sobrang depressed sa Ethereum na kasi nga kahit na nga gumalaw 3,000 you're still like, dapat kasi dapat, I mean with the price of Bitcoin na dapat sa $10,000 na tayo per Ethereum, eh. Pinag-aralan mo ba 'tong Ethereum at tingin mo ba saan 'to pupunta? Meron ka bang mga ano dito, insights on Ethereum na gusto mong i-share?
That actually, you're talking about 'di ba yung sabi mo parang 'di gumagalaw 'di ba, parang ang bagal. Alam mo 'pag galing ka sa PSE ta's nag-crypto ka lahat mabilis, eh.
Ah, kaya para sa'yo mabilis 'to.
Oo.
Okay. Kasi I mean ako naman nag-PSE pero not as long as you. Ako sumulpot ako sa PSE on certain time periods where I made money and then nung nasunog ako, I got out of it and then I went back recently. Before I got into Bitcoin, I was in the PSE and then nung pumasok ako Bitcoin, dun ko na binenta lahat ng stocks, everything, eh, 'di ba? So, I don't have as much of parang trauma from the PSE to compare to crypto. Kaya tuwang-tuwa ako sa crypto pa rin. That's why nade-depress ako sa Ethereum. Ang tanong ko ngayon is, right now, do you believe Ethereum still has the not even the momentum, eh, the price action moving up to, let's say, $10,000 per Ethereum? I've heard kasi yun ang mga narinig kong prediction right now for Ethereum.
Actually sa price action kailangan mo muna kasing take out yung mga key levels niya, eh. So right now, we just took out yung I think right now ang key level na kailangan basagin is ng mga nasa 3,000 to 3,100. And then after that, it will be the 4,000 level. So and then the all-time high.
Right.
So we need to take that out first bago natin sabihin na sige pupunta yan sa 10,000. But Ethereum kasi always has this first mover advantage kasi siya yung OG ng alts, eh,
Right.
'di ba? So and the majority of the projects na malalaki, especially in DeFi, naka-Ethereum.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, and hindi lang yon. Dumadami na ngayon ang mga ETF that are actually accumulating Ethereum. Now, if you saw what happened to Bitcoin when the ETFs started and how they accumulated Bitcoin, after several months, nakita mo na yung upswing ng Bitcoin. I believe that'll happen because nga right now with Bitcoin hitting this new all-time high, I am pretty sure a lot of these institutional buyers are now looking at something where they can, you know, replicate the money they made in Bitcoin. Naghanap sila ng second tier and Ethereum is a second tier after Bitcoin, eh. It's still second to Bitcoin. What is interesting for me is how XRP is number three.
XRP sobrang lakas nung galaw ni XRP. It is because may fundamentals naman 'no. To be fair with XRP sabi ko nga, siguro kung hindi dahil sa paglaban ng XRP last cycle 'no, sa
Hmm.
SEC, biruin mo yung battle
Hmm.
na yon na ginawa nila, tulog yung price ng XRP noon.
Yep.
You know, I never touch XRP last cycle primarily because takot ako dun sa may ganong issue, eh. So hindi ko siya hinawakan. Sabi ko, "Antay, hayaan mo na muna 'yan kasi madami pa namang ibang mga puwedeng gumalaw." But, looking back, so sabi ko nga, we have to thank XRP kasi talagang lumaban siya,
Okay,
'di ba?
wow.
Ginastusan niya 'yun, hindi biro hindi yung lumaban 'no, ng mga legal battles na 'yan.
Alam mo tama ka dun ano, kasi I remember nga that time, ako hindi ko din ginalaw XRP, Although I had XRP, pro in different times, I had XRP and then I sold when I made money. And then I went back and then 'tong last one bago siya nag 2 point I think I forget na how much I sold. Basta nung last pump niya binenta ko na, I'm out. Pero tama ka, we have to be thankful to XRP kasi nga it was a hard battle and it could have gone either way. Sinuwerte lang sila that Trump won. And therefore, kaya ngayon where we're at. Pero it could have gone the other way. And if it had gone the other way, di bumagsak ang
Oh,
XRP ngayon.
remember those days na niloloka nila yung XRP na stablecoin?
Oo. Grabe. At ano nga di ba at one point na pump and dump yung XRP? Naalala mo ba yun nung pinump and dump siya? Naalala ko to kasi sumama ako dito eh. Nung
Ah,
I forget kung may anong group yun, basta pinump nila sabi nila, "Oh, buy, buy, buy." Nung nagpa-pump na, yung mga nagsabi ng mga nagbibigay ng mga signal na ganyan magbenta, the first ones to dump it left everyone holding the bag. Malala yun kasi nadamay. Buti nakabenta ako, thank God. Pero ang dami akong kilalang nadamay nun. Tapos parang feeling nila wala ng pag-asa XRP. But matalino XRP, the management is they were always in the news. They were always able to keep themselves relevant. And yun yung nakikita kong problem ngayon with the other altcoins. For example, Cardano, they're still in the news. They're still in the top 10. They're last place, gatekeeper na ang Cardano ngayon. Ako, I'm out of Cardano na. Made my money. I'm good. Pero I don't know where Cardano is going. Pero magaling si Charles Hoskinson in terms of keeping himself noisy and relevant. Kinakalaban niya kasi yung Bitcoin palagi. Kung ano mga
Lagi.
sinasabi niya, kaya siya relevant. Pero yung Polkadot, paano naman yun ngayon? Wala nam
Wala.
ano ba, nasaan na siya ngayon? Nasa 3 ay yung huling nakita ko, 3 or 4?
Maraming mga ano, maraming mga altcoins talaga na, um, gumagalaw pa rin, may activity pa rin dun sa chain or dun sa company, tuloy pa rin yung development. It's just that hindi na marami ding mga traders na hindi na interested or naa-outshine naman siya ng mga bagong alts 'no. I think darating tayo dun sa time na may purging, huge purging na mangyayari. I don't know kung alin yung mga alts na yon.
The Purge.
Yeah, and eventually may mga matitira na, who will survive that purge and then may mga newcomer ulit na
Yeah,
papasok.
okay. Ako na, sabihin ko na. Alam mo itong purge na sinasabi ni you're talking about a 90 to 95% purging. Maraming mawawala. For those that don't remember the internet, the dot-com bubble, ang daming mga stocks nun that were the darlings, billion-dollar stocks, biglang billions to zero. Now, you don't even know them. I'll give you an example. Netscape ba yun? Naalala mo Netscape?
Netscape, yes,
Netscape,
oo. Yung
bam!
ay ano yun? Browser, that was a
Oh, the
browser,
browser
oo,
that went
yeah.
all the way to
Hmm.
billions, from billions to zero. Wala na. Daming ganong mga kaso. So, this is going to happen with crypto. But it doesn't mean that crypto is not legit or a scam. It is just part of the growing pains. From there, may lalabas sa mga winners.
Yes,
Ang
oo.
tanong, alam ba natin kung ano?
Hindi natin alam yon. Kaya
Oh,
nga importante yung tuloy-tuloy na pag-aaral, eh. Kaya ako sobrang interesado ako dito sa space na 'to. Kasi yung development niya tuloy-tuloy. Kumbaga, lagi mong iniisip, ano, who's next? What's next? Ano na ginagawa nitong mga projects na 'to, 'di ba? So, nagiging curious ka and at the same time, nagiging conscious ka rin na mag-aral na tuloy-tuloy. Hindi mo siya binibitawan kasi nga very interesting yung space, eh.
okay. So, sa topic na yan na pinag-aaralan mo ang space, ano, dito, pinag-aaralan mo na ba? What's the price of Bitcoin going to be going to the next week? Until our next podcast. So, yan. I love this weekly prediction we're doing. Eh. Anong ano mo? Take mo. Ikaw mauna ngayon.
Dapat yata ikaw ang mag-predict, eh.
Hindi, tsumamba lang ako doon.
Maganda yung prediction mo na yun, eh. Well, I think 'no, technical wise, so since, nag-breakout tayo, usually, there will be price consolidations and sa chart naman, it might form a flag. Yung flag kasi might form a triangle or a parallel channel again. So, it's like a pause sa chart.
Okay.
I don't know how long and I don't know when will it happen, but at some point it will rest and then we'll see what will happen. But we right now kasi we have the momentum, no?
Mhm.
And ngayon nga crypto week also, yung mga ganap sa crypto medyo marami siya. So let's see kung price prediction, we hit na kasi yung target ko na
Uh,
618 na 120, 121 eh. We hit that one na eh. So, it's either mag-consolidate, gumawa ng flag or we go straight. Ang isa lang sa observation ko, on a Monday, I call this a false move Monday eh. Pag Monday nag-pump or nag-dump, anything na gumalaw ng Monday, minsan kadugtong kasi ng weekend yun, 'di ba? Usually Tuesday or Wednesday, binabawi. So, yun lang yung medyo
ah.
that's why I'm really careful and I seldom really make trades, big trades on a Monday. Kasi maraming mga false breakout, false moves eh, no? So,
Oh, wow! Ako naman ginagawa ko lately, I sell on a Friday. Pero ito nga, Buti hindi ako nagbenta kasi nga it went up, eh. Kasi
Oo.
nakita ko kasi sabi ko parang hindi 'to bababa, ah. So I held it. Hindi ko na ginalaw yung position ko and then I'm so happy hindi ko ginalaw kasi kung ginalaw ko 'to sabi ko I'd be out of the trade, eh.
Oo.
So, ako tingin ko ano for the coming week, Bitcoin, first I think the all-time high will probably rest at about 125 kasi ang lakas sobra ng movement niya all the way to 122 plus. And tingin ko gagalaw pa yan within, the next 24 hours. So I think it could probably, um, hit 125, hold it, um, and then honestly, I do believe meron pa rin 'tong ano correction that will happen. That's for August. Next week, maybe, but I think we're probably gonna consolidate here. Baka mag-sideways siya muna o kaya baka sobrang lakas kasi ng movement. Baka we might hit 135. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 135 by next week.
Posible, and yung 135, that's already double from the previous all-time.
Oh, wow!
Yes. 'Di ba previous
Wow!
all-time
Oo
natin
nga
mga
'no?
nasa 69, 70. So
Yeah,
if you reach mga
psychological barrier 'yun.
135, mga 2x ka na nun if you bought at the all-time high last cycle.
Yes.
You double
So
your money na.
yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. Pero after that, definitely may correction pa rin yan. So for the people that are FOMOing right now tapos inisip nila wala silang chance makapasok, guys, I'm telling you, meron pa tayong opportunity in August to come in. Probably by then, it'll go down below 110 or kahit na below 120, it's still a good entry. And as long as you, like Tito would always tell me, dollar cost average, you're gonna be okay moving forward. O Tito, may last words ka ba?
Eto final, words natin sa lahat ng mga nafo-FOMO na 'no. So, remember na hindi naman mawawala yung Bitcoin. Sabi nga ni Chris, may mga corrections along the way. But bottom line is, if you are in defense of, entering or going into the space, ang ilalagay mo lang dito is the money you can afford to keep. Because of
I
this
love that.
volatility, anything can really happen. Kasi if you put money that you need for, let's say, for example, a tuition fee of your son or daughter, or you need it ng short term, agad-agad, magpapakasal ka na, let's say, in the next 3 months, di ba? Don't use that money pupunta dito sa Bitcoin. So only that money that you can afford to keep for a long period of time. So yun lang yung unti-unting ilagay, no? So it's like yung extra mo lang na pera.
Right. And if you do that and you do that consistently, in the long term, you win. And when I say long term, tama ba ang pagkano ko sa long term mo? Ilang years ang long term sa'yo?
Sa akin minimum kasi one cycle, so mga 4-5 years 'yan.
Yon. So as long as you're willing to hold it for 4 to 5 years, more often than not, with Bitcoin, you come out on top.
Yes.
Yan. O sige, with that guys, salamat sa inyo lahat. I hope you didn't FOMO with our talk. And tingnan natin kung sino ang magwawagi sa kanilang prediction sa susunod nating
Susunod.
kabanata. Okay? Salamat sa inyo lahat. Ito si Kristan.
Ito si Tito G.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow us on our socials. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of
Not
Not Financial
financial
Advice.
advice. Bye.